read. And give me a new sponsor sound alert. Make it up on the fly.
Ayo.
Love that new sponsor alert from Anthony.
We are so high tech here, it's sickening.
Guys, you know I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But luckily, FanDuel keeps me and the sports going whenever I want, because all I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers, every single one, with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Just head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and make the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the official sportsbook partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Jay, yesterday, I know it was a 1 o'clock game. However, the Guardians were 1.5-run underdogs against the Mariners, who came into the series winners of 8 of 9. They won the first game of the series, and then good old Cleveland battled back, won the next 2. Will Brennan hit 2 home runs. Logan Allen outdueled Luis Castillo. And that's a hell of a series win for your Cleveland Guardians.
You aren't kidding. I'll throw this out there. I was there yesterday. I was on the field from like 9:45 until just before first pitch. It was as hot as I can remember a day in Cleveland. I know we didn't set a record yesterday. We fell just short. But I looked like I just dove out of a pool. Mm-hmm. I was soaked. I couldn't imagine, and now I've got to do it tomorrow. I couldn't imagine playing baseball in that. But the fact that those guys went out there and battled the way they did was nothing short of remarkable. It was brutal out there. I thought Will Brennan's swing has been better than his results have. If you look at the average and you watch the swing every night, he's better than the numbers show. Mm-hmm. And that's baseball. It's a funny game. All of a sudden, in one day, he takes his home run total from 6 to 8. He's on pace to hit just under 20 home runs this year.
I know.
Which is remarkable considering where he was a year ago. So I'm really glad to see that he got results, particularly against pretty good pitching. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes, and Stephen Vogt said this after the game, you can always, when a guy comes back from a dugout and he really barrels the ball up and he puts a good swing on it, you can say, hey, stay with it. It's close. It's coming. You hear that, but it gets frustrating when you don't see the results.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he saw the results with 2 swings. I love this kid. I mean, we had him on last year, and we had him on again this year. Mm-hmm. He's just he's got a great personality. You root for him. And he's starting to turn the corner where you now start thinking maybe that's the answer to your everyday right field. I know we thought we had that with Oscar Gonzalez, but we're getting closer and closer to me believing that we have that with Will Brennan. And as for Logan Allen, I'm not shocked. His problem is consistency. There's days he looks like Cy Young. Then there's days he looks like Travis Young. He just doesn't have Cy Young stuff. Sorry, Travis. But I do think that yesterday's game was another example of a team doing whatever they had to do, scratch, claw, win, to get the series win. Mm-hmm. They beat a really good team, a really hot team. And it was big that you're able to start the homestand with 2 of 3.
I like to see that Josh Naylor was coming out of his slump. Obviously, he hit the 2 home runs in the game before.
Right.
And he ended up hitting, I think he had a double yesterday when I was watching.
He did. In fact, I thought he was going to come out of the game.
Yeah, because he messed it.
It looked like he had really injured his knee.
Yeah. So it was nice to see that. As far as Logan Allen goes, listen, Bybee the game before was lights out. Looked like a straight ace out there. We talked about it yesterday. Me, Jason, and McNuggets talked about it yesterday. He was lights out just 2 days ago. And to see Logan Allen follow it up, now he don't have quite the strikeouts, but that's not really what he does. But to pitch 6 innings, because we talked about how these guys weren't getting the 6 innings. They were going 5, and it was wearing out the bullpen. Now that they're getting the 6, hopefully they can get to 7 innings of pitching well. Now your bullpen makes it to the playoffs and they're not stretched thin when it comes playoff time. So it was nice to see that. And Will Brennan, anytime we can get some home runs from the outfielders, think about it. We got 2 from him. We got 1 from Quan the day before. If this outfield start picking up home runs like this, then my little top 15 might become top 5, baby.
So you know what? I asked the grounds crew. We were there yesterday to do a story on the grounds crew. And we talked about the renovations, and you talk about the home runs. There is a prevailing theory going around Major League Baseball right now that the increased home run total for the Guardians has a lot to do with the fact that those shipping containers are gone in right field, and now there's an open air breezeway. The guys are talking about the ball gets up there.
Yeah, McNuggets showed us a video. We played it on
Oh, did you talk about this already?
Of the video, right?
I feel it.
And guys are buying the theory. Guys are like, look, and it's not just the Guardians' home run total that are up at Progressive Field.
Everybody's.
The other team is hitting more home runs there.
Progressive was one of the worst last year.
It was. And when you look at the way the field was constructed, that was all concrete. It was all solid barrier. So anytime there was a wind going to right field, which happens fairly frequently there, the ball was dying because there was no breezeway. There was no flow through the stadium. Now, when you look into right field, you see right out of the stadium, there's big holes in the decor that the new right field.
Is there any way when you and I go against each other, we could do it at Progressive Field?
Well, I'm not a lefty though, so I have no power to right field. I'd like to try it there.
Y'all so disrespectful. Y'all just gonna strip these boys of their medals.
They
ain't hit no home runs for the last 20 years.
No.
And
what?
No,
listen.
That's him. No. It's not me. This is the big talk in Major League Baseball.
It's the wind. The wind carrying out on y'all boys.
Listen, I mean, you may poo-poo it, but it's not just the Guardians' numbers that are up. It's the other teams. The ball is clearly jumping off the bat better to right field.
Do we know where like, for field-wise, where Progressive is on
I don't know.
run?
We could probably find that. Home runs.
Look that up.
I will say this. It would have to be a per-game total because the Guardians, I think, have played fewer home games than anybody in baseball.
I'll see if I can find per game. I know I can find totals. I'll also say the weather in Cleveland has been warmer, and that certainly is
absolutely. But this was the case in April too. The ball was flying out, and I mean, look, I think it's a small sample size. We need to see a couple of years, but the players are talking about it. Broadcasters are talking about it. When I brought it up yesterday to 2 or 3 people, it was all, absolutely.
Do you know why they decided to move the shipping containers?
Well, look at them. They look like crap.
They look bad.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you had empty semi-trucks sitting up there where there used to be fans, so it didn't look so empty. It's so much more aesthetically pleasing.
I will say this: the most impressive stat is this. Yes, they are swinging. The wind may be blowing out, or maybe the configuration of what the stadium is makes the ball, maybe a little jet stream here or there. But I will say that it's been a conscious effort, organizationally, to change the way that this team is made up. To me, the team is no longer just, let's see how long arms can carry us, or we got great starting pitcher or relieving. No, they've made a conscious effort to say, we got to change our DNA a little bit. The stat I heard the other day, I believe they got 37, I think 2-run home runs with 2 outs.
Yes, they've been very clutch.
Now, when you talk about hitting that amount, and it leads the major leagues,
it does.
Now, when you doing that shows me that is a conscious effort to say we're going to be aggressive later on in the count. We're going to be aggressive. We're no longer looking to just move runners and put the ball in play. That type of power is been translating throughout the order. You look at Will Brennan, who's a guy who talked. I think he was the first dude when you had to sit down with him that talked about, nah, man, it's no longer going to be just okay to just be up there trying to get on base. We want power. He was the first to flip that switch.
Yeah, we had somebody from the Guardians came on and said that the approach that they switched was it's better to be 0-1 in the count than being 0-1 on the day for hits. So they be aggressive. Be aggressive at the plate.
We even had Mike Chernoff on last week, and Chernoff said, we've embraced this. Yeah. This is absolutely an organizational pivot. And so I'm not sure that they're going to necessarily change the way they try to win. I think they're still going to be about pitching. But I also think that they've clearly looked at the numbers over the last couple of years and where they finished, both in 22 and 23, and saw that you can't be at the bottom of the heap in home runs and hope to make a deep playoff run. We lost to the Yankees 2 years ago in the ALDS because they come up, they can have 5 hits, but if 2 of them are 3-run homers, the game's over.
And you look at Naylor. He had 2 home runs prior to that. I think he's batting in the 230s.
He
right?
is. Yeah.
Guess what? When somebody start seeing them numbers creep up around 20, 25, 30 home runs, all of a sudden you don't care about 230.
You know what? It's interesting you said that because
true.
You don't care about 230.
So right now, Josh Naylor's, I wish we could show his swing. I don't know if you have any video in the system.
The one where he almost hurt himself?
Is
He
out of control.
He tried to kill. Did you see him on the second home run?
This cat.
Beer league softball.
He tried to kill that ball.
And
he did. He actually, his second home run, I think, from 2 nights ago.
He's hitting majestic home runs.
He's Jim Tomey in the ball right
boy
now.
failed.
So I almost think like this whole pivot organizationally can be a double-edged sword.
Yes.
On one hand, you're getting guys like Brennan that were more concerned about batting average than power, now starting to give you a little pop. That's nice. Stephen Kwan, less concerned about swinging and making contact and more concerned about producing runs. His home run total is up. A lot of guys are. But that's the thing. I want you, when this loops and you watch this again.
He crossed over.
Watch where he is when he finishes.
He all in the right-hand batter's
And he's leaning everything back. That's a softball swing.
He got his result. He got the result he wanted.
So it's going to come up quickly again. And when it does, it's going to be over before you know it. But watch particularly on how he finishes his swing. He's going to come right out of his cleats.
Yeah.
He's in the right-hand batter's box.
Listen, he almost in the dugout swinging.
So I don't know.
He got the result he was looking for.
Well, he did, but there's a lot of times where he's not getting the result.
That's true.
And it's because he's trying to hit it to Medina every single at-bat, which isn't necessarily
But can you have
the best approach?
But could you have one guy, 1 or 2 guys like that in your lineup? Look, I'll take it. Jose's not going to do that. Jimenez is not going to do that.
No.
And we know Quan is going to try to stay on base, but I don't necessarily mind.
What is he batting, by the way? Right?
235, 236.
No. Quan.
Quan's like 396, I think.
396.
And Tyvis, he's been white hot. He's hitting over 500 over the last 2 weeks. He's hitting 500. I think he's exactly 500 over the last 2 weeks. And he's still at 396. It is so hard. It's like if you have a 3.96 grade point average.
Oh, that is the most upsetting thing.
How are you going to get it to 4.0?
You got to get like a 4.3 like
yes.
6 times.
It's really hard to move it past that line.
And if you want a plus-minus system, you're dead. Because the A- is only a 3.7.
And so that would be the equivalent of a 2 for or a 1 for 3 day.
Yeah, well,
a 1 for 3 day for him
is bad.
Is like a 3.33 grade point average, and you're trying to keep it at a 4.
And he could go 1 for 3 with a walk, right? And the one hit he got was a home run.
And his average goes down significantly.
And he scores 3 runs, right?
Yeah.
His average is looking crazy. Like he's just like, oh, I had a great day. No, you didn't. That ain't what
you're trying to maintain 400. That's why I just don't think it's going to happen.
Take him for 2 hits today. 2 hits.
I hope he does. He's been getting 2 hits a day. I think he's been on base in 25 straight games.
Finish with 400 so Jake can shave his hair live on TV. UCF.
Hey,
it all comes off, brother.
Somebody needed to tell. Well, listen, Bo Naylor, got a couple hits over the weekend.
He did.
Rocchio got a couple hits over the weekend.
Rocchio, by the way, Rocchio's starting to creep up there a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I read he's hitting 270 over the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So. We were hard on him early, but there's got to be a learning curve. When you come up to Major League Baseball, you can't expect the guy's going to hit 270, 280 and hold it there. Yeah, it's hard.
That's true.
And guys make adjustments. Once there's a book on you and there's a scouting report, he can't handle the low and away slider. Guess what he's going to see until he can start to hit it. The low and away slider.
Well, Jay, I just think, to me, I think it's more plausible that they go deeper in the playoffs if they have offensive output than me saying, all right, we got to bring our pitching up to a certain level. I just don't see – I don't think that –
It doesn't have to be either or.
Yeah, Well, yeah,
I mean,
no.
Ideally, the teams that win it can do both.
I just think the rotation has limitations. Like, I think if everybody pitches at its optimum level, I think they could be an above average staff.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Right.
Everybody, hold on. Let me look at it.
Now look, Tristan was the front of the rotation guy. Tristan's one of my biggest concerns right now.
Yeah, don't even. Yeah. I talked about that yesterday. It brings tears to my eyes.
You know what part of it is, guys? His command, and he's never been a command pitcher. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
And then when he's struggling and he needs to throw strikes, guys are sitting dead red. They're sitting middle of the plate, and that's why he's giving up so many home runs. He's got to get better with his command.
I just remember seeing like the stuff that Tanner Bybee be throwing. I remember McKenzie throwing stuff like that.
His curveball was devastating.
It was crazy. Now it's just like,
No, I know.
I mean, he can't do it like that no more right now.
That's wild. I don't.
And then I was saying like the surgery. If he gets the surgery now, he's done
this year, next year,
and next year.
Yeah, you get Tommy John now. We'll see in 2026.
See,
so what does he do? Like he's in a position where it's like you don't want to say I want to hear that pop, but at the end of the day, it's like
you're holding your breath knowing it's coming. I think,
and I think the reason why he's not getting it, I don't think he's out there letting it go. I think he's giving me 86%.
Well, his velocity, every once in a while, he will creep back up to 94.
Yeah.
But so I'm holding my breath on Tristan McKenzie. I really am. I think if he can return to what he was, which is a big if.
Yeah.
Now you've got, between he and Bybee, you've got two front of the rotation ace-type pitchers.
And you get Gavin back.
Get Gavin Williams healthy. He's going to make another rehab start. He hasn't made it yet, right? I think he makes
No, he's pitching in Akron this weekend.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jay, speaking of weekend series, the Garden's about to open